up? It's me, Sage. I'm finally sitting down to make a video. I know I've talked about this so many times on my blog about making videos, and I actually did sit down to make one the other day. It was a makeup video, but it just turned out completely blurry, and honestly it wasn't something that I would have wanted to watch myself. And if you notice my past posts that I made on my blog, it was all about making content that I personally would want to watch and not just putting things up just to get a post up. It's not about rushing things, it's about making quality content that makes me feel creative and something that I personally would want to watch. So I actually did make a few videos in college when I was about a sophomore, which was a little over 2 years ago now, and that content just really isn't me anymore, so I probably will be privating all those videos and just starting fresh and making things that I truly do enjoy. So for my first official video on my blog, I really just wanted to sit down and have a little chatty video with you guys all about blogging, why I personally started blogging, and all the pros and cons of WordPress and just social media in general. So first off, I just want to talk about why I personally started blogging. I guess the main reason, or kind of what kickstarted it, was I saw other people in my life like starting a blog, and I was like, hey, like I could do that. That was so cringy. So I did a little bit of research about WordPress, Blogger, all the different platforms that I could be using for my specific blog. And ultimately, WordPress was my pick. It seemed like the best one. You could comment, like, super easily. You could interact with so many people. It just seemed awesome and a really good place to start. I also just really loved fashion. Like, my entire life I've been super into fashion and just cute clothes. And I worked seasonally at a retail store all throughout college. Like, it's just always been something I love to do. So my blog really started off as a place where I went to talk about clothes. Like, I would post one piece, whether it was like a kimono or a pants or a shirt, and I would just talk about that one piece, and it almost looked like a website where you would go to shop for clothes. It didn't really look like a blog at first. Like, it went through so many different changes and like so much evolution to get to the place where I am now, where I'm actually interacting with people, commenting, liking, following, all of this. It completely did a 360 compared to the very first thing I started with. Honestly, my love for blogging just kind of came out of the blue. I wasn't expecting to want to do this. I didn't know it was something I was going to end up doing. I was also very creative my entire life. I always grew up like drawing and painting and like all of this. Like, I spent my summers with my sister in a painting room or at the beach, or honestly just at my desk drawing for hours, like just by myself, focused on drawing. So I think blogging just kind of came naturally once I got super into graphic design and photography, and the entire thing is just so creative and like makes me feel so good. I also got very active on Tumblr when I was younger, which it isn't a very popular platform now, but I do go there for like art inspiration or graphic design inspiration, stuff along those lines, which it is still really like good for. But yeah, I guess blogging came pretty naturally to me. It's a very creative thing to do, and that's just always been like who I am. So I then moved from the community on Tumblr to more of the community on WordPress, which I actually didn't even know was like a big thing until about a year ago, maybe a little bit over a year ago. Which is a good thing for me to mention here, that when I first started my blog, I really was not like active at all. I didn't go and like other people's posts. I wasn't commenting on other people's stuff. I wasn't really interacting much, which like is such an important part of blogging and is like one of the most fun parts too. Like, reading your guys' feedback and comments on my posts is like one of the most fun parts of my day, especially like being a full-time graphic designer as well. I love reading your comments like throughout the day and like on my lunch break. It is so awesome. So yeah, it really wasn't until over a year ago that I really started to get serious about blogging and serious about networking and creating a community and being genuinely invested in this. So yeah, hopefully that, what is this? Maybe I shouldn't be making videos. Anyway, so hopefully that explains well enough why I started blogging and my kind of whole process. I'm pretty sure those are all the details, but if you have any questions about why or how I started blogging, of course, like, leave them down below. So then I guess I'll go right into the pros of blogging and the whole community and everything about it. So I think I kind of touched on this before, but one of the biggest pros of blogging is the community itself. I honestly have never seen a nicer group of people who are so supportive and encouraging, and every time I put up a post, it's all positivity in the comments. Not once have I seen like anything negative at all. It's all advice or coming from a good place, and I think that's specifically what I love about WordPress. So if you are thinking about starting a blog, I would recommend WordPress simply because you can like and comment. I think a lot of people understand where you're coming from too, especially when you're on the same platform doing the same thing. It's the writing, it's the editing, photography, everybody's doing the same thing in their own way, which is so relatable. And again, something I mentioned before is just constantly being creative. It's definitely caused me to be even more creative in my life outside of my job, which like is already so creative. Like I mentioned, I'm a full-time graphic designer, and it's a very creative place, but it's so different when it comes to my blog. Like, it's so much more personal and like so much more me. And speaking of the professional world, I actually did put blogging on my resume. Even though I hadn't been doing it completely consistently for the past 4 years, the fact that you can write and photograph and edit those photos and just mash it all together into one amazing post, I think is a big asset to a resume, and I think did help me ultimately get my job. I like to think that it helped. It also was a big part of my graphic design resume in college. I had to put 8 of my projects into one book and make it look pretty and beautiful, and it was the very last project I had in there, and it was something people were super interested in when it came to the actual review. Basically at the end of the year you do a whole like review with professionals in the area and, you know, people who had graduated from my college and whatnot. But it was a huge asset, I think, to my portfolio, and it was something that was very unique to me and something that I personally love to have in there. Another very important pro to blogging is getting really good with social media and being very consistent on platforms other than just WordPress or other than Blogger. I know for me, now that I've been so active and so much more consistent compared to when I first started, Instagram has become super important, Twitter, even Tumblr is still a little important to me. But they all really do help to kind of spread awareness that your blog is a thing and that you are doing this. Not to mention social media like Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter is so important in business now. Like, it is a complete asset to know how to use them and navigate them and grow numbers like in a business environment. And I think that's really cool that you can learn that through blogging. So yeah, I think those are all of my pros for blogging. Of course, there's probably so many more that I'm missing. So if you have a blog and you know why you love to do it, of course leave it down in the comments. And of course, like anything, there are some cons that come with blogging. Nothing super crazy, but things that I would like to touch upon just in case you are wanting to kind of get into this world of blogging. I think one of the things for me, and something that I have like gotten over within the past couple years and like am still working on getting over, is being a little self-conscious when it comes to posting photos of yourself, or when it comes to making a video like this. Like, thoughts do pop into your head, like, what are people gonna think of this? What are my friends, my family, what are they all gonna think of this? Are they gonna think I'm a complete weirdo? But what I figured out is, if you truly love to do something, even if it's YouTube or blogging or whatever else it is, if it's science or math or anything, if you love to do it, you should not feel any guilt about doing that thing. So I think just getting over being self-conscious is a very hard thing when it comes to blogging, and if you can get over that as soon as possible, the better. I think another really hard thing when it comes to blogging is the consistency. You definitely have to try to be as consistent as possible when it comes to posting. I will admit it does weigh on me a little bit, and I do get a bit of guilt when I know I don't have anything scheduled, or if I'm just too busy during the week to create anything or post anything. I definitely struggle with a lot of guilt in that aspect. Especially when it comes to Instagram, if you are not active, you are basically 100% going to be losing followers, which I blame on the new algorithm partly. Consistency is great with everything in life, especially social media. So that is a bit of a bummer when it comes to blogging, that you can experience some of that guilt, which I don't know if everybody experiences that. I don't know if I'm the only one. Like, totally let me know. It's also kind of like a lonely thing to do. I don't know if that's the correct word for it, but a lot of the times on the weekend I have to take photos or schedule a post or something along those lines, when really I kind of just want to go like watch a movie with my family. But since I am so invested in this, I do want to get a post up, and I do want to take photos and edit them, and I actually do really enjoy editing photos a lot. But there's definitely times where I would rather be like taking it easy and not have the thoughts of like, I need to get a post up now, like people are not going to want to follow me anymore if I do not put a post up. But honestly, that's like kind of ridiculous. Like, you should want to focus on your actual life, not just your virtual life on a blog platform. But other than that, when it comes to blogging, I've never seen any sort of negative comments, any like feuds going on in there. I'm also just not a very like controversial blog. Like I write and take photos of things that I genuinely like, whether that's like outfit of the day or like makeup products or giving advice about college or art or graphic design, whatever. But I definitely am very lucky to have a platform with such nice people who have only shown positivity, which I really appreciate. Like, thank you guys so much. But yeah, I think this video has gone on long enough. I hope you learned a little something in this video, whether it gave you reasons to start a blog or maybe some reasons that it's not your thing. Either way, I hope it was super helpful and that you learned a little bit about my journey. I would love to keep making videos like this. Like, it was honestly so fun to just sit down and chat and not do a makeup video. Like, I'm sure I would love to do those in the future, but it was nice to kind of sit down and be me and just make like content that I would want to watch. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. Hopefully more videos will be coming your way. I don't know, let me know if you want to see anything specific. Honestly, sometimes I'm like the cringiest human being, like who even am I? But yeah, vlogging has brought honestly so much to my life. I am so glad that it's something I love to do. So all my links will be listed down below, my WordPress blog, Tumblr, Twitter. But yeah, go ahead and give me a follow if you want to. If you like this video, give it a like. Is that what YouTubers say? Give it a like. Subscribe? Question mark. But hopefully I will see you guys soon in the next video. Bye guys.